Greetings. I am a California-based civil and structural engineer, and I've got an idea to share about sanitary facilities for refugees throughout the world. Hopefully, this will be used by United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees or the other agencies that help with the refugees. Before I get to my presentation, I'm going to share a picture that I took last summer, following the earthquake in Afghanistan, Paktika province. I went there actually myself to see the damage. And I spent a night at the refugee tent, which was, I believe, supplied by either UNICEF or the UNHCR, the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees. And the tent was tolerable. It was not a luxury place. We didn't expect that, but the toilet facility was horrible. It was so bad that I went there and decided not to use it. I will show you the picture, what I mean. This is inside that toilet. It's just some 2x2s with some tarp around it. And this is the door. See, there's a latch. And this is a hole in the ground, literally a hole in the ground. And you see all the feces underneath. And there's a lid, homemade lid made of wood. But as you can see, the same size as the hole. I tried to put it on, it fell through it. And these stones are there to be used instead of toilet paper. Some people have toilet paper with them in their own pockets and use it, but I decided not to use it. We walked out, and we went somewhere else to find a little more cleaner facility. So let me stop this and get to my presentation. This is a three-dimensional presentation of a toilet or a shower stall made of sheet metal. You can see it's a round, could be two pieces of sheet metal stacked one on top of the other, overlapped here so there's no leak. And the sheet metal, with the way I understand it, they are about 1 meter wide. So you can have the tall, that the height will be 1 meter, 1 and 1 will be slightly, about 2 meters, slightly less because of the overlap. And then you would have a 2x2 wood at the back, the half circle. And the front will be 2x4 at the top two, and 1 2x4 at the bottom. The corners are 2x2. Let me zoom on it a little bit. So this is a 2x2, this is a 2x2, this is a 2x2, this top and bottom, the 2x4s. And there's a hole in the ground to be used to installing a flat the flush toilet, which is flush of the ground, a squat type, which is pretty common in Asian countries, especially in Muslim countries. And there's a door. The door is also made of 2x2 lumber with a sheet metal skin. And the sheet metal could be just very thin, like it's 24 or 22 gauge metal will do it, but it has to be galvanized so it doesn't corrode. Also has a lid, a sheet metal lid. And let me show you how does that looks. With just a sheet metal, just slightly wider than the toilet itself, with the edges bent. And the reason it's curved, and I will show you why. And this could be put upside down and put them on top of it. Okay, here's a toilet completely assembled. Let me zoom on it. See, here's the lid, and this is the two 2x4s. This is the door, 2x4 here, and this is the hole that you put the toilet and then fill it with concrete, with some screws coming from the side that will secure it when the screws will be covered in concrete. That will secure it from tipping over due to wind. This is very light weight, and the earthquake will not tip it over. The wind could, but if you have a concrete slab here with the screws coming into it from outside of the skin, this will be very stable. And the screws in the sheet metal all have to be galvanized. And then on the 2x2, you can put some hooks on it or some nails for towel or anything else that they want to hang. Okay. You can have multiple of them. This is just to put the lids, just to give the outline of a cluster of these toilets. Toilets, we can call them a shower. They can take shower in that. You can put 6 of them, maybe 8 of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, back to back. And with the plumbing line coming to a common septic tank. And when this is filled up, there could be 2 compartments, one of them for the solid waste, one of them for overflow, the liquid can go to another tank that be absorbed into the ground. But the solid will be pumped from time to time. The advantages of this is, first of all, it's much cleaner than that hole in the ground that I showed you. And ease of assembly. It just needs a few screws to put it together. Could be locally made, these sheet metal. And the reason I wanted these curved round the corners is because so the wind doesn't blow it up, because the wind will, the most likely, if this one is a square or rectangle, and the wind will blow it up from the bottom. Let me zoom on it. If there was a corner sticking out, the wind most likely will blow it up. But if there's round, there's no very little wind except the suction from the top. And the other advantage is that besides being simple to assemble, because these sheet metal just need a few screws, 2, 3 screws here on that side, and a couple of screws at the back, and a few screws on the lid to secure it down, and just a couple of hinges and a little latch. Very simple to assemble. This door could be pre-assembled. The lid has to be pre-made, and the sheet metal could be shipped to the job site flat. These, the front frame could be either pre-made or could be assembled at the job site, just a few screws, but it needs to be screws because screws are easy to put in, also removed in the correct if there's any mistake in it. But these all have to be, by the way, has to be galvanized. The top, the gap could be left open or covered. Open for light and also for some ventilation, or could you be covered with some screen or something. The other advantage is that standard size. You could make thousands of them very easy and then ship it when it would need it. The cluster will share the same septic tank, and the water tank could be put on top if needed. But most likely people would use those plastic containers that they use for watering plants. They use that. And they are cheap to buy, and then each family has one of them. And this toilet could be each one for each family, or it could be women separate, men separate. And then that is my presentation. I hope it's feasible. See, this is, it gives you an isometric view of the layout. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the septic tank in the middle. I believe a simple the pickup truck can carry probably 50 of these at least, not pre-made but in components. 50 doors, 50 lids, and then material for the sheet metal, flat sheet metal could be all stacked together in as one shipment. Thank you. That was my presentation on the subject. I hope it's useful. Thank you.